So who says that football at the Olympic Games is boring? I don't. I always enjoy watching. I always enjoy sticking it on. And yesterday definitely proved that. There was the good, the bad and the ugly in football. All in one game. And that game, of course, was in the men's side of the draw between Morocco and Argentina. Now, I think it's fair to say that Argentina were the favourites coming into this one. They're the world champions and they're the Copa America champions as well. And yes, this is an under-23s tournament. It's not the senior side, but still, it's a good indication of how good your team is if you're both the world and confederation champions in your continent. Morocco, there were no pushovers. They made the semi-finals of the World Cup in Qatar, the first ever African side to do so. Incredible performance by them to do that. And they showed that kind of form again. They're a real rising national team on every level. They got into a 2-0 lead, scored just before half-time and just after half-time. Excellent for them. And they looked like they were going to go for a victory to open the Olympic campaign in Group B, I believe it is, they're playing in. Argentina, they managed to get one back just over 60 so minutes into the game. And then there were 15 minutes, 5 minutes of added on time in this game. 15 minutes. That is a third of a half, a sixth of a game on top of what was already there. So, honestly, the pressure's definitely on when you go past 90 minutes because you're just kind of into silly territory, really. Anything can happen. And so it seemed. Because in the 15th minute, of those 15 minutes, Argentina got the ball in the net. They thought they equalised. And I thought the game was over. The referee blew up, said, yeah, get off the pitch, players. Get off the pitch. I thought he was saying full time, but he wasn't. He was getting the players off the pitch because he was suspending the game. Why was he suspending the game? Well, because. Now, obviously, France has a lot of Moroccan diaspora in its country. So it was almost like a home match almost for Morocco. The stadium was 85% full of Moroccan fans compared to not many for Argentina, because Argentina is it's in South America, it's a whole continent away, it's a long way from them to go, and they've just come off the back of Copa America as well in the United States, so you can imagine that a lot of them weren't wanting to travel to Europe for another tournament, even if it's one they might win. But yeah, the Moroccan fans were not happy. I mean, as you're not going to be happy at that. You've lost a win, effectively. You've dropped 2 points. So because of that, we saw some quite ugly scenes that I didn't clock at the time. But yeah, they threw bottles and flares onto the pitch. Some supporters actually invaded the pitch as well. So that's why the referee, quite rightfully, got the players off the pitch. Even if there's like 2 minutes left to play, it doesn't matter. There's missiles being thrown onto the pitch. There's people throwing themselves onto the pitch. You need to defuse the situation. Keep the players safe. So he said, come into the dressing rooms. Let's get off the pitch. And then the drama continued, because as the supporters were emptying out the stadium, there was which took about an hour or so. I think the match did eventually resume, but it was like an hour or so after they previously played and before that. So the match in itself took over 4 hours to complete. They kicked off when did they kick off? Was it 2 p.m? They kicked off at 2 p.m. and it finished at like 6. It's just a ridiculous situation. And then, on top of that, the VAR got involved and disallowed Argentina's equaliser. And if you look at the VAR, because it's semi-automated offside, so you can see the pictures of the virtual players. He's offside, but he's literally offside by like a centimetre, 2 centimetres. It's the correct decision. I'm not having a go at VAR here by any means, but my goodness me, Argentina was absolutely fuming. They would be so distraught at that. They were so close. And then they had to play like the last 2 minutes in an empty stadium. It's a farcical situation. It's really, in all seriousness, I'm laughing and smiling and stuff, but it's just really bad that this happened. Obviously, security can only do so much in the day. I'm not going to go blaming them for this, but it's not great. It's not a great image for the game, but it's just an absolutely bonkers situation. So I think this goes to prove, for better or worse, and to be honest with you, mainly worse, because obviously we saw some pretty ugly scenes where the players had to be taken off the field. Football at the Olympics is not boring. It's not. It's absolutely not. And this proves it. It's entertaining. You can't... Are you not entertained? I was entertained. Apart from the hour or so when it was not being played. Can't be entertained at that. But yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on what happened. If you're wondering why that match took so long to complete, it's just a ridiculous situation. But we do love football, for better or worse, and these kind of antics do prove that. So yeah, guys, there we go. We'll do it all again tonight with the women's side of the draw. Hopefully nothing like this will happen. But saying that, there's been some craziness with the Canada team as well, where they've been spying on New Zealand. I've done a video about that as well, so check that out if you're not already. But yeah, Absolutely incredible scenes in the Football Olympics. Never a dull moment.